Before you can create a project, you will need to make sure that you have access to a rubric you wish to use. If you haven't already, you can learn about creating a rubric in video 4.3. First, navigate to the publishing space. Once you're in the publishing space, open the Publishers tool group and then select the publisher for which you would like to create a project. Next, click Create a New Project. On the next page, you can either manually select each setting or copy an existing project. We'll start with step-by-step setup first. In this example, we'll create a multi-work project with automatic advancement and date-scheduled phases. This means that multiple creators will exchange their works for peer review and that the project will advance automatically, requesting work from creators on specific dates that you set at the start of the project. We will cover the other options in video 4.4a. Click Next Step to begin setting up your project. On the next page, you will need to give your project a name and a description. The description should include the project description and any additional instructions for students. If you would like to provide links to outside information, you can use the link tool. You may use the Invitees dropdown to either select all members of the publisher or a group of users, as described in video 4.2. Next, you will choose when to send invitations to the project, either as soon as you start the project or on a date and time of your choosing. The Drafts Are Due box allows you to set when the first draft is due. Finally, if you click Advanced Settings, you may set the default work title and subtitle. Click Next Step to move to the feedback settings. Now that you're on the screen, you can see the progress bar at the top, which has the date that you selected for the first step. At any time, you may return to a previous screen by clicking on the progress bar. Your first option is how reviewers are assigned. Using the automatic option means that Scholar will assign reviewers randomly, so it will save you a lot of work. You can still assign additional reviewers to a work if necessary, after a project has commenced. You can learn how to do that in video 4.6. Next, you will select exactly what kind of feedback your contributors should give. If you ask contributors to review the work, you must select a rubric from the dropdown. If you don't see an appropriate rubric in the list, you will need to create one as described in video 4.2. Don't worry though, creating a rubric all happens in the sidebar, so you won't lose any work on this project. Finally, you will assign a deadline for feedback to be submitted. In the advanced options, you may decide whether to keep the identities of creators and contributors anonymous. You may also customize the feedback request that is sent to reviewers. Click Next Step to access the revision settings. On this screen, you will set the due date for revisions. The advanced settings let you customize the revision notification that creators receive. Like all deadlines in Scholar, creators will be alerted to this date and reminded when their work is late. However, they will still be able to submit their work even after the due date has passed. Click Next Step again to access the publishing settings. This is the date by which you, the publishing admin, will decide whether or not to share the creator's completed work in Community. The advanced settings let you customize 4 notifications: the note a creator receives when the work is accepted, the note they receive when the work is declined, the note a contributor receives when the work is accepted, and the note the contributor receives when the work is declined. Clicking Next Step one last time brings you to the preview screen. At this time, Scholar will attempt to verify your settings. If there are any problems, you will receive an error message. An orange exclamation mark will appear next to the phase that has errors. Click the arrow next to each phase to see the choices that you have made. Any errors will appear in orange. In this example, we chose too many contributors for review. To fix that, we'll click on the feedback stage in the progress bar, change the number of contributors, and then return to the final page. If there are no more errors, you may click Finalize to start your project. Instead of creating a project from the beginning, you can also copy and edit an existing project from any publisher in which you are a publishing admin. Simply type the name of the project in the box and click on it when it appears. Now you can customize the project to meet your needs, or simply use the settings as is. This is very useful if you want to assign the same project to multiple groups, or reuse a project from another teacher.